Hello, and now we're going to move on to the WebRing Social 1. That's WebRing 1, just downstream of your primary ground zero content. We call it WRS1, and you can look at it on our glossary. We call it WRS1 because it has to do with your social media accounts. Okay, and it's very important to recognize and decide whether or not certain platforms are useful for your business and industry and niche market. So knowing that we've already completed the WR1, number 5 would be your Google Plus, WRS1, your social WebRing, in your social WebRing steps. The reason I put it first is because Google and Google Plus can set the stage for all of your other social platforms, and it's kind of like a hinge between social media and a search ranking, because Google Plus really is the first platform of its kind that has such a direct correlation with search engine ranking. And a lot of this has to do with Google personalized search, if you have that turned on in your Google dashboard, or if you do not use Google or search while you're logged into Google, like a lot of folks who are maybe black hat and who know how connected Google is with the databases on the back end. They don't even search with Google on. But I want you to know that for the purposes of running a business, getting set up and getting straight with your Google dashboard is a key component. And the first step is going to be to determine if a Google Plus personal or Google Plus business page account makes sense in your market. Activate your Google Plus profile as step B, and you associate that with a Gmail account. And again, you still need to have a regular domain address, but Gmail is useful for your Google dashboard. Complete your branded profile and headers like any other profile, and include backlinks to your WR1 Money site in your Google Plus account. You're going to do that on the About Us page. Okay, and include a quick or comprehensive bio with industry-related keywords on your About Us page. You're going to automate the downstream articles using RSS feeds. Okay, and you want to focus on the whole downstream content delivery from ground zero that we discussed in the last video, with the blue arrows being the traffic back to your site that comes from the red arrows, which is your downstream traffic. Google Plus is simply another microblog platform in which you can syndicate snippets or portions of your article or abstracts from your article downstream. And at that point, you'll be ready to transform your Google Plus updates into an RSS feed using our RSS software. And that's useful if you would like to syndicate your Google Plus profiles, your Google Plus tweets. Tweet's not really the right word, but your Google Plus micro articles on the microblog. If you want to syndicate those to all the RSS directories, you're going to want to follow our Google Plus course, and you're going to want to use our software to generate an RSS feed. And that's available to Network Empire members. And then you can follow the basic RSS submit protocol, which is essentially the use of RSS submit software. And if you want to go advanced, you can use the one feed to rule them all process available in the Network Empire training area as an extra course. Or you may want to have it done for you. We also have it done for you, one feed to rule them all. And this is on the main product page. You can visit by clicking this green button up here. Okay, so we do have a done for you one feed to rule them all system, which really works beautiful. It works beautifully and works wonders for your Google RSS campaigns and the Google Analytics. You'll be able to see that. So this is a basic, extremely truncated version of the Google Plus setup, but I do put it first, not because it has to be first, but because you're always going to want to take the various social profiles you have and put them on your WRS1 branded Google Plus About Us page. And that's because the Google dashboard has more and more clout in being able to get you ranked and verifying that account as a real business. And when it comes to your business page or your RSS updates, Google Plus is really close to search engine optimization. And because it's a Google-owned platform, and it does affect your rankings on personalized results, and as you begin to use your Google author markup tags, you're going to have your image and your photo right next to your updates on personalized search, which is really nice for anyone who's in your Google circles. You can generate traffic, leads, and follow-up if you properly develop your Google circles in relationship to your Google dashboard, in relationship to Google+. It's very, very useful. We talk about this at the live certification event that's available at themezoomcertification.com, and we do have some advanced courses. Much of this information is available by default, even with the basic members area sign up at networkempire.com. The Google Plus course is available to all and is included in even the most basic membership at networkempire.com. Okay, so we went, that was 5, Google Plus branded. Then there's Twitter branded. This is a Twitter platform. Again, the steps are pretty much the same. Make sure that Twitter makes sense for your market, and there's a lot of things you can do to determine that. And then you can create a branded Twitter strategy. You can complete a branded profile, and then remember that all the tweets that go out, I say without exception, should lead back to your stuff. People tell me sometimes that they think it's very antisocial that I don't tweet other people's links. Well, I do tweet other people's links when I'm covering something interesting. It's going to first be posted on my blog and then tweeted out. If it's worth tweeting, it's worth writing a blog post about. I think Sue Bell first said that at our company, and it's true. Otherwise, you're just echoing and lowering the value of your tweets. Drive people back to your platforms even when you're mentioning even charity events with clients I have who are charity or who are nonprofit. When they have something interesting to say about other companies, or when they do something that's even charitable, they should first post it even as a curated snippet or abstract on their own blog post and then tweet it out. That way you get traffic, affects your rankings, tells Google and Google Analytics that your site is powerful, and gets you higher search engine rankings because you have traffic and time on site via readership. Okay, those are things you need to consider. So my point here about putting backlinks is that these tweets give you backlinks to your WRS1 money sites, especially if you add them later on in your WR3 networks to your, what I call your WR3 Twitter sites. Make sure that all of your tweets get indexed. Okay? And we're going to get into that. And those are advanced techniques, which you will eventually get there. Then you're going to add your Twitter profile to your Google Plus About You section, because that'll add it to the Google dashboard. You're going to automate your downstream articles using RSS feeds. Okay, for example, Twitter feed is how I connect to my Twitter accounts, both my WRS1, WRS2. And then you can follow the Network Empire's basic RSS submit protocol. And then if you want, later on, like I just said, you can connect this to a WR3 Twitter blog. This is only stuff we teach in the private ThemeZoom live certification events. Okay. Moving on quickly, then you've got your Facebook WRS1, and everything that I just said about Google Plus and Twitter follows again. Does Facebook really make sense in your market? Perry Marshall had a great quiz that asked the question as to whether or not you really needed to focus on a Facebook page. For example, B2B might be better on focusing their energy on LinkedIn, whereas social causes and health and wellness is excellent for Facebook. So you need to set up a Facebook fan page, and you need to know how to do that. And you're going to add your Facebook fan page to your Google Plus About You section, just like every other profile in your WR1, because that just lets Google know that you have validity. And remember, your Facebook fan page has PageRank, and that PageRank does pass. I've tested that. Your fan page can get anywhere from PageRank 2 to PageRank 6, I've seen, is the highest client PageRank that I've been able to manage for people. That's huge, and you want to use that. And you want to have the URL to your main site pointing back upstream to your primary websites, and put your money site on your fan page. You want to decide whether or not you want to automate your downstream articles to your WR1s. I do automate some of my items, and that's a call that you have to make in the tech field. It's okay to do that. You don't want your WRS1 fan page to appear too automated. You want to hand curate some of those posts. Okay, and we get into that more of that in the course. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube is kind of a special environment. I'll talk more about that in the course. I want to complete a branded profile. You want to always link back in your description to your money site. You can even silo your YouTube channel. We cover that in our courses. There's a special way to do that. And again, you want to automate your downstream articles using RSS feeds. Okay. This is an example of doing that. You might want to send your YouTube videos downstream. Okay, and we'll talk more about that in the course. And we do give you the URL for the proper YouTube RSS feed. And again, you want to integrate your YouTube feed through RSS, and you want to submit that through our basic RSS functionality. And of course, we do have a done for you, one feed to rule them all system, which we're happy to do. I think it's $97 to create some massive reach for any feeds that you want to put through it. Okay, and then number 9 is Pinterest. Pinterest is a very unique bird, so we're going to talk about that very little here. Pinterest is 100% image focused, and you want to make sure that your open graph settings on your upstream platforms are set properly. And if they're getting through on Facebook, they're probably going to be getting through on Pinterest, generally speaking. The Yoast blog plugin has proper open graph settings, and we talk about that inside the membership area, but we also talk about it quite a bit at the Theme Zoom certification. Okay, once you pass the Pinterest, then LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really business to business. Consultative services and consultants need to be using LinkedIn. It's very social. You can automate LinkedIn more or less, but you want to be careful with that. You want to put your best content from ground zero through your LinkedIn. Make sure the headlines are legible. Make sure you don't automate any headlines. Scoop It is a social curation platform I threw in here because it does automatically speak to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I have found I've had great results curating my own content from my WR1 upstream ground zero content through Scoop It to LinkedIn and getting some pretty good response in LinkedIn. Just make sure you have a good headline with no typos when it's passing through LinkedIn. Scoop It is a content curation platform owned by Guillaume. He's a fantastic person who has been working in content curation for the last 5 years. And this platform has really taken off. I have a bookmarklet for Scoop It at all times, and I give my outsourcing team bookmarklets for Scoop It so that when they scoop to, you can have a Scoop It platform even on WR3 way out there on the outer ring. Okay, and it's important that every magazine in Scoop It correspond to one of the main topical themes that you came up with in Kraken, what we call your KDNA. All right, and we're going to make sure that you have that theme cluster. You would have already tested that and known most of that back here from number 1. You would have organized all this, and these keywords would be second nature to you by this point on the WRS2. Okay, Scoop It being the last one, that kind of completes the WRS1. This is why we labeled them very carefully. WRS1, which means your social web ring, branded social web ring. All of these platforms are platforms that are high profile. They're out there for all the world to see. You're shamelessly promoting your services on them, but mostly through educational tangents. Your profile, however, shamelessly points back to your WR1 site, and whether you use content curation or whether you're a business to business will depend upon which types of platforms you focus on. For example, some organizations are much less video oriented than others. I'm recommending that everybody move to video because video can be leveraged incredibly well on Pinterest and on LinkedIn and on Scoop It. Okay, video can nest beautifully into these systems, and you get a higher click-through rate. You get more page rank because of the plays on your video, page rank from YouTube, and then the YouTube page rank can point back to your site. If you silo your YouTube channel, that YouTube channel can be passing page rank and traffic. Again, it's going to be pointing it back. You're going to get the traffic upstream, and then as you remember, I like to continue to diagram these for you. Where you have traffic, a lot of the times you'll get page rank pointing back to these sites from these social platforms as well, especially from blogs that are your own, obviously, because some of the platforms do have no follows, but I'm finding that they still pass page rank. So green is page rank being passed back upstream. Okay, blue is traffic, and all of that came from syndicating ground zero content downstream in the form of repurposed content, snippets, spun articles, story flipping through Storify, which we don't cover in the web rings because it's an exception, but a lot of different ways which headlines can, the Twitter army, headlines can be syndicating out to massive number of platforms and giving you backlinks. Okay. All right, so I think we've done a pretty good job of basically covering the social web ring number 1, the branded social web ring. As you can see, there's a lot happening here, but for the most part, the thinking is the same. The platforms vary and they're unique to themselves, but the principles of passing content and syndicating your upstream content to these social platforms should be clear to you. And doing that expertly in a branded way that drives traffic back to your call to action, back to your golden frame, and back to your syndicated content. Back to your primary platforms, your call to action, and more importantly, getting customers to transact with you, moving them towards a transaction with that unique one-line zinger that would have been extracted from your vitamin or painkiller and FAQ to SAQ process that we take you through in the private members area and in the live certification event. All right. You've been very patient and you're doing really, really well. Now you're going to move on to the next simple overview, which is WR2. That's your second web ring. Not your social web ring, but your next second web ring. What makes the WR2 different than WR1 is that it is not necessarily branded. It's a separate IP address for each platform, and there's no real way to connect these platforms, or at least the general hosting packages, back to your primary stuff. You leave no footprints when you do it the way that we show you, and the whole purpose is to create massive traffic, a whole nother level out. And when you start doing that, you start generating traffic out of both traffic and PageRank out of thin air using the principles of advanced SEO. I'll see you on the next video.